been longer than I intended. I'm sorry I got really busy, but finally I can do this review. I've had it ready for a while. This was a request, and I listen to this artist every once in a while, but it was interesting to listen to one of her newer albums because I tend to listen to her older stuff. So I won't delay anymore. It's Onitsuka Chihiro's Dorothy. Dorothy! Okay, this introduction is really interesting to me because it's entirely in English, and her English isn't very good, like, as far as pronunciation goes, but the vocabulary in this is very interesting and kind of poetic, so I kind of like it, but it is really weird English, and so part of me really doesn't like it, but the atmosphere that this creates, because it's just the drums and her voice, it sounds really good, and I think it's a really cool introduction. However, I almost would have rather had this as an interlude, because this album doesn't have any kind of interlude and it really needed one for reasons that you will discover later as I explain it. So this is a really simple intro. There's not much to say about it. Kagerou means heat haze, and I don't know, I don't know what I was expecting reading that title and listening to this song, but I was a little disappointed. This song is pretty, but like the only thing that really specifically jumps out at me are the strings, like right before she goes into the chorus. But other than that, this song really doesn't impress me that much. I think, like, even lyrically, this is pretty typical of her. Like, it's not like this is anything just drop dead gorgeous like some of the songs later on are. But the thing that happened with Chihiro Onitsuka is, besides many horrible things that have happened to her that are both her fault and not her fault, she kind of had a style change, and this is post-style change, and she went from more like, I don't know, she went from more like stylistic and ethereal to like folk rock. And this song is kind of the newer style, but I think it's alright. It's just, there's nothing in particular that jumps out to me from this song, so I was a little disappointed. X! This song, however, I really liked. It's, again, the newer style, I feel like, but it still has echoes back to her older style, which I think were incorporated in a beneficial way to this song. Also, I really like the way that she sings the verses, and like this part's really slow, right? But then it picks up. Well, not here. After one more part, it picks up again, or it picks up, and I really like how it does, and I really like the lyrics, except, again, there's really weird English, and I really like the way that she sings this song. But going back to the weird English, like, there's a difference to me. There's a difference between being poetic with weird, like with English, but like her English is so weird in this that it's not even poetic anymore. It's just a distraction. But I really like the song other than that, and I like it better than the previous song, Kagerou. It's probably one of the better songs on the album as far as the like newer styled songs go. That's just my opinion. I'm not really sure why, but I really like this song because I like the way that the mood is, I guess. I guess that's what I should say. I don't know. I took notes, so I'm reading them. Sorry. But I don't know. I don't like love this song or anything, but I like listening to it because I like the mood of it. And especially in the chorus, I really like the way that she sings, "Hey, storyteller." Like, I just like the way that she sings it, like, very bluesy, and it really echoes back to the fact that she has deep roots in, like, loving American music before it became trash. But, like, older American music, I think most people know what I mean when I say that. But other than, like, I like the lyrics a lot, too. But other than that, this song is kind of boring, other than the chorus, the "Hey, storyteller," and the ending. I really like too. it wraps up the mood of the song really, really well in my opinion. But yeah, this song is kind of boring, to be honest, and I felt like the first half of this album is kind of boring. So, I mean, I'll get more into that when it's more appropriate, but that's just my thought. This song is like really, really happy compared to everything else on the album, and you're just like, I don't know, but I don't really like this song because it doesn't suit Chihiro Onitsuka. Like, when I think of Onitsuka Chihiro, I think of the first two songs I think of are Infection and Gekko, and just this dramatic style, and like even her newer stuff has, you know, more dramatic stuff. Like this last song that we listened to was kind of a darker mood, without being like overly dramatic or anything, but this song just doesn't suit her. And I think that if somebody else had done this song, like, I don't know, just somebody that's not her, I feel like I'd like the song better. But to be honest, I just don't like this song that much at all. The lyrics are really generic, and I don't really like the instrumentals either, and I really don't like the effect that they put on her voice. It sounds really weird, and I don't really like it at all. But I'll let it play a little bit so you can hear the chorus, so I'm not completely like anti-biasing this song. But I mean, it just doesn't suit her, because I see a darker style with her, and it suits her very, very well. Unfortunately, I guess, but fortunately, but unfortunately, but yeah, it just doesn't suit her. It's way too peppy and weird. My question is, why is this song entirely in English? Like, I don't want to be mean, but her English is really bad. It's really hard to understand. Like, I don't think grammatically and like that kind of thing, I'm not really sure if she's the worst, but her pronunciation is pretty terrible. It's almost as bad as Kodakumi sometimes worse actually. But and it's really not that exciting of a song. It's almost interlude-esque, but that works because after this, the songs kind of revert back to her older, like darker, more dramatic style, and like this first half of the album has been very much so her newer style, and so it's like this folk rock, kind of American inspired thing, but like I was talking about earlier, the White Whale in My Dreams, I think would have made a really good interlude after this song, because it would split the album right in half. You know, the first half is like her newer style, it's all folk rocky, and then the second half is more of her older style, and I like the second half of this album light years better than I liked the first half. Although the first half of this album did have good points, but not that many. The beginning of this, I'll be quiet so you can hear it. Those strings at the beginning, for those of you who play video games, if you've played Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, it reminds me of when it turns nighttime, and you're walking through Hyrule Field just as it's turning nighttime, and the low strings start playing, and like it's the same, and I really love that feeling, and but this song I really, really, really like. I love the lyrics to this, and just, this is her older style, and this is the style I really like of hers, and this is why I actually liked listening to her, was because of this kind of style, and it's dark and dramatic and beautiful, and it fits her voice so much better than the folk rock songs, and that's the thing, like, in case you haven't figured it out yet, Onitsuka Chihiro has a really interesting voice again. It's kind of weird, but it suits really well, or these kinds of songs really suit her voice well, and I don't know, this is just such a beautiful song, and I really like the ending of this, because it sounds like she's just screaming out into the night, and it's really, really beautiful and ethereal, and it really fits the lyrics of the song too, and the mood, but the lyrics specifically, and I just thought it was really beautiful, and like, the strings and the instrumentals in this are absolutely gorgeous, especially the strings. And just this like dramatic building. I mean, you know, like the song is going to get more intense because you can hear the little drums in the background, and there was an introduction of guitar in, and it's slowly building up. It's just a beautiful song, much better than the first half of her album so far. This song, okay, before I start talking about this song, I should say that I don't really like listening to country music. I do know like a couple of songs because some of my friends back home really loved country music, and then they would listen to a couple of songs and I'd be like, oh, this song isn't that bad. There's a song, I don't know who sings it, but it's like, remember how we held our heads up high. That song, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, but anyway, this song kind of reminds me of that, and which is good because I like that song. But I love the piano in this, and especially that beginning. Dun, 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 dun. And then between the verses and the choruses, there's this really, really cool melody that the piano plays. I think it's here. It should be here. Right here. And it's heavily influenced by American music still, but it still retains a lot of Chihiro's actual style, which is why I like this song, because it's a good blend of the two. It's not, heavily balanced toward the American music, or, heavily balanced, like, so it's really dark or whatever. This is a good blend of the two. And, this is a really pretty and calm song, and her voice sounds very nice in this song as well, I should mention. The piano in this song is another thing that really stands out to me. I really like the pre-choruses also in this song, because, I don't know, maybe I just am not, well, okay, I should admittedly say, like, I don't own any of her albums. I mostly just listen to her music online. Sorry, I love the piano in this. It's so beautiful. But anyway, I really don't listen to her that much, except for online. And it's usually Infection or Gekko or another, like, older song. I think that's the name of that song. I'm gonna be so embarrassed if that's wrong. But anyway, I feel like we don't get to hear her sing very high very often. Or not just high, but like in a pretty like falsetto high, as opposed to like, for example, in Infection or Gekko, she really like belts high. But she sings like high, like pretty falsetto high in this song, and it's really, really beautiful. So that was kind of a nice treat, and I really like this song in general anyway. It was one of my favorites on the album, and the ending especially I really, really love. But again, going back to her older style, and this brings up the question, why did she change styles? Because I really like this style so much better, and I feel like everybody else does too, but maybe I'm wrong, and that's something that I'd like to talk about at the end of this album. Hotaru means firefly, and when I think of fireflies, I think of happy things, because that was my childhood, like catching fireflies, But this is not a happy song, and it suits her so well. This song is beautiful. The lyrics are really, really beautiful and poetic. I mean, she's talking about a bug, but it's still, that metaphor and everything, she writes it very beautifully. And this music is gorgeous, the piano and the strings, and it suits her it suits her voice the best, in my opinion, because she has this darker style, and just this is really beautiful, and I don't know why she changed styles, like really, I don't know. There's something else I wanted to say about this one, but I forgot to write it down, but I was listening to it the other day and I remembered. Oh, the fact that, like, again, there's kind of this blend of American style in it that's really subtle, like the melody of the song itself, but it's not, like, overwhelmingly influenced, and I think it's a good balance, and I really like that. Like, I don't know, I don't know, it's hard to say, just like, I hate American music and like what it's done to J-pop, but I kind of hate what American music has done to J-pop, because taking away from these beautiful ballads and stuff. And I know not everybody likes ballads all the time or whatever, but there's something great about a great ballad. There's just something wonderful and fantastic that you can't find everywhere. And she does ballads really well, so that's what makes me so sad that, like, why did she change her style? But whatever, it's happened, it's part of history. Okay, this is the last song on the album. It's almost, oh no, it's over 7 minutes, sorry. And it is nothing less than I'd expect from Chihiro Onitsuka. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And this is pretty much the best way she could have closed this album, and it's just an epic song. I kind of wish like all of her songs were like this, but then I guess this song wouldn't be as special. But just, I love the harps and the strings in this and how it sounds very ethereal. And like if you think about the name of the song as Venus, like if you think of Venus, not the goddess, but Venus as in the planet, and you think of like outer space and like just this floating ethereal atmosphere around you, and just like if you think about those movies where like people are out in outer space and they're like, oh, and then like the stars are out, and this is kind of what that song displays in a way, musically at least. And I'm just gonna skip to farther in so you can hear how amazing this song really gets. Just, it's so beautiful. Just, it's such a good finale to this album. But again, like if you think about this song and then listen back to the songs that were, you know, on the first half of this album, they're so different, and that's my criticism. Okay, so this album, my biggest problem is, why is there such a huge gap in styles? Because the first half of the album is distinctly different from the second half, and in my opinion the second half is distinctly better than the first half. So, and it's not that, like, this album's really short anyway, like it's only 11 tracks, but it's not even that it's that short, it's just that, just to me, there aren't enough strong songs on the album to make it feel like I listened to a full album and feel satisfied. So, I mean, this is just my opinion though, because if people like the first half of this album and the second half of this album, they probably won't feel that way. But for me, I felt like the first half of this album was really disappointing. I mean, this is, what we're listening to right now is gorgeous, but why aren't the other ones, you know, that impressive? I mean, they can be a different style and still be impressive. They don't have to be exactly the same. So that's my biggest criticism about this. So like I said, I don't listen to her a lot, but this is kind of one of the reasons why, because of this new style that's coming. I really don't like it or whatever. But anyway, speaking on my next projects, I'll try not to have such a delay in getting out the next video, but I am really busy. I mean, I joined a club here, and so that takes up a lot of my time, and you have to understand, like, my time here is limited. I can do these whenever, but my time here in Japan is limited, and it's growing shorter by the minute, so that's my priority, sorry. It's my priority. So anyway, the next album that I'm going to be doing is not a request. It is something that I really want to do, and I haven't done this artist yet, but I feel like I really want to do this artist because she is fantastic, and I've talked about her before on my channel. So without any further ado, I'll go ahead and let you go for this album. Please, if you have any requests or anything, please leave a comment or send me a message, and let me know what you think of this album, if you've listened to this album before, if it's just me being crazy or what. So thank you for watching, and have a great, I don't know, I did it again, no, I'm sorry, I really am.